Hey guys, Nick here. I'm going to go ahead and just state the obvious. This is a marketing tool for my real estate business. I've been a realtor for 20 years right here in Nashville, but who wants to listen to a boring podcast about real estate? Good news, it's not. This is a podcast about people that I've built relationships with since I moved here in 1988. If what I stand for resonates with you and you're looking to buy or sell a home in this area, let's talk. No pressure, just a conversation, kind of like this podcast.
This is the 615 Podcast with your host, veteran realtor and entrepreneur, Nick Woodard.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the 615 Podcast. Today, we have a seasoned entrepreneur with over 20 years of experience founding, scaling, and exiting businesses across multiple industries. His experience encompasses the full life cycle of business ownership, capitalization, team development, systems building, brand positioning, and value realization. In 2023, he acquired the Next Health franchise rights in multiple markets. Since then, he has successfully opened and is operating locations in Nashville's Gulch and Green Hills, with another clinic underway in Charlotte. He's here to hopefully tell all of us how to live healthier lives and maximize this precious gift we call life. Welcome to the show, Mr. Scott Crosbie.
All right.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, appreciate you having me.
Awesome.
Good intro.
Well, we're going to dive into a little bit about you, a little bit about your business, background, all that good stuff. But let's start with this. You know, many of us have seen the beautiful Next Health building, but know very little about it. So tell us about what you guys do, kind of break it down, and then we can dive into some of the specifics.
Okay. Sure. It's like the latest and greatest wellness technology. I mean, you know, this is this amazing trend going on right now to get into wellness. We've all kind of figured out that, you know, we need to go to our doctor when we, you know, we're sick or we're hurt and all that kind of stuff. But like, how do we optimize ourselves? How do we prevent disease from happening or prevent something from happening to us? So this whole wellness trend in it's the last 20 years, but in the last 2 or 3 has just exploded. And so Next Health has put together this like amazing set of tools for people to focus on, we'll say, health span and lifespan. Health span is living happier while you're actually alive, and lifespan is obviously living longer. So we've got a bunch of tools for that, right? So I could rattle them all off, but we have a bunch of modalities, things like cryotherapy, the cold. And then if you got the cold, you got to have like infrared sauna. So you got the heat. And we've got red light bed. We've got hyperbaric oxygen. And then with that, we also kind of like, even we get down to the core, what we do a lot of testing for people. So, you know, we love for people to know the data, know their dashboard, know their numbers. And so there's so many different tests we can run, from just basic biomarker tests all the way down to like we can measure brain health, we can measure heart health, we can measure like toxicities in your body, molds and heavy metals, plastics, that kind of thing. We can do a genetic test. You know,
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things we can measure, and then we have practitioners at both locations that are amazing that'll sit down with you and help go through all the data with you, so you don't have to just put it in a chat GPT and try and figure out, like, you know, what does this mean?
That's what I was going to ask you. We're going to kind of break down some of the stuff y'all do and let you explain what it is, because I dove into chat GPT last night to try to figure out what all these things are.
You know, chat's great, but I mean, honestly, like, and I tell people this all the time, like, I've been doing this hard for about 10 years, and the biggest advancements I've made in my own health is when I actually engaged with a practitioner, like a functional medicine person. And yeah, it costs some money, right? So, you know, maybe you do it in spots. You know, in a perfect world, you kind of just engage and stay engaged. It almost becomes like your new primary care doctor for wellness and living, you know, like a healthier life. But anyway, yeah, so we have all that. And then we've got a whole bunch of other things too, like just from like stem cells to ozone therapies. We do a lot of like IVs and you know, IVs are really, really good way for people to, you get a great feeling right away, right? So IVs are good. We have this thing called Therapeutic Plasma Exchange we can talk about. It's a really cool procedure to get rid of the plasma in your system and really clean out a bunch of toxins in your body. Hormones, peptides. I mean, I probably want to talk about peptides.
We're definitely talking about peptides.
It's the hottest thing going. Everybody wants to come in and talk about peptides, and we definitely do a lot of peptides, and I've got a lot of background on that myself. But we're going to dive into all that. But let's start with your story, kind of before we do the specifics of Next Health. How'd you find yourself ending up in the longevity and wellness business, so to speak? Yeah, so I've been a small business guy forever, spent most of my working life in Charlotte and exited all that kind of stuff and kind of been on my, I started, my mom got Alzheimer's. That's really what really got me started. And
I'd heard your parents had a big role in your mindset change to really focus on this.
Yeah, there's always a story usually for somebody. And so when that happens, you're like, okay, I don't want that to be me, because again, this goes back to that lifespan. I want to live a really good life, and when I die, I'd really like to just, go. But to watch the decay and how that all unfolded, and I was like, man, how do I keep that from happening to me? And I really dug in, and what I realized is, like, you're not going to go to your doctor and say, hey, how can I not get Alzheimer's? They're not. That's not what they're there for.
Right.
But what you realize is, for the last 20, 30 years, there's a lot of really smart people, that have been that have all been going through the same thing and been researching this, and everybody's finding this works and this works, and it's not just about taking a drug, right? It's like they're researching, like, what are the things that we've seen that keep, like, this brain from declining, and what I realize is, a lot of these diseases are very, very preventable, but you have to start early.
Yeah,
you can't wait until it happens, because it's right now it's still too late. I mean, we've seen a few cases of Alzheimer's being reversed, but it's very, very difficult to do. And anyway, so I was like, all right, so let me go down this road. I'm like, all right, well, let me see what all these people are saying. I start reading all stuff. Oh, you should do this, and you shouldn't eat this, and you should get rid of heavy metals. And I realized, how preventable these things can be. And so I really started my own journey, and really started working hard on it. And I realized, like, even though I was a healthy person, I realized, like, half of what I knew was probably correct.
Yeah.
Or the best way to do things. And so I dug in. I mean, I did it I did it, like, meticulously. Like, I can't tell you how many supplements I've taken, how many, devices I've purchased to try, right? Like, I've been through quite a few things, but nevertheless, went on that journey, and then got to the point where I was kind of ready to re-engage in business. And so I said, all right, well, I'd really like to do something in this wellness space. About 4 years ago, before really, most people really, it still was considered a little alternative, maybe a little odd.
Kooky,
it was a little
I guess.
kooky, yeah. And but I found Next Health. I love the culture. I love the team. I went to see some locations, and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. This is definitely be the future, and it's something that I would just like to do. No matter how much money I make, like, this would be fun, and I could see that they were really helping people. Like, they were really doing good for all of their patients and customers, whatever. And so just engaged, and actually became the first franchisee for Next Health, and opened the first franchise location here down in the Gulch. And then we've gotten the second one location open here in the last 4 or 5 months, and got plans to do quite a few more, but I'm just going to do them one at a time, because I do take each one of them.
Do it right. Yeah,
personally.
absolutely.
Like, I want to be involved, and I want to, make sure the team understands what we're trying to do. And I want to, and I love it. I want to meet the, our patients, and just be involved. And so, yeah, we're going to just do them one at a time, and enjoy it.
Let's dive into a little bit of, again, I did a lot of research prepping for this, but let's talk about biohacking. Okay. Because that's a term that, I guess, when people hear that, they think of, billionaires flying out to Switzerland, or, maybe a lab in Wuhan. But, what is biohacking? What's the definition of it going into health space?
Here's the way I look at it. It's basically looking to get the most value out of the less effort for your health. So it's almost like, the way I look at it is, it's like, I'm looking for things to cheat my way through health. It's like, perfect example. And, this is it's not really controversial anymore, but like GLPs, right? Those are the Ozempic, semaglutide, tirzepatide for losing weight. One of the most amazing products ever invented. And it's actually a natural compound, right? It's just these peptides. It's just an amino acid. It's basically a protein. It's not a drug. It's very, very simple compound.
Oh, the women in Williamson County are keeping that stock way.
Exactly. I mean, but guys should too. And all I'm saying is like it's a hack. And the reason why a lot of people don't like it is people try and come up with, oh, well, it's bad. Is it bad for you? You know, I can't really think of hardly any downsides to doing it, except, you know, you're just gonna have to get used to weighing less and having lower blood sugar and, you know, whatever. But it's a hack, right? To me, it's like, it's kind of a cheat, right? So a lot of people,
the cheat code to better health.
It's like people, so a lot of people don't like it. It's like, well, I just want to do it myself. I had a buddy and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go on a diet. I want to lose 20 pounds and I'm going to do it. I'm like, well, what happened last time you did it? Well, after, 10 days, I couldn't follow the diet, or I got busy and I had a work trip, and it's hard. I get it. Right. But it's a hack. Like, to me, that's a true biohack. You can take a shot once a week and maintain or lose weight. That's it. And maintain appetite control, maintain food noise. You can actually reduce inflammation. You can, I've said this before, you should not be able to get type 2 diabetes if you take these GLPs. I mean, I don't even see how you could do it. I mean, it's probably possible if all you did was try and force yourself to eat sugar or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, it will potentially eliminate type 2 diabetes at some point in time, because you just can't.
No kidding.
Yeah, your hemoglobin A1C, you should not be able to increase it. It's going to go down. So, is insurance going to pay for it? No. All right, that's the problem, right? It's not. I mean, you can go to your doctor and ask for it, and maybe they'll charge you, and whatever, but it's not going to be free, but it's a hack. I mean, so when I look at all these other things, how
you got to be willing to invest in your health, just like you're investing in your, real estate portfolio or your stock or, whatever.
Exactly.
You got to put money into what's most important.
Right. And for me, it's how can I work out the least and get the most value? So I try and find, what are the things for longevity I need to do? And it's basically, like strength is highly correlated to longevity. So when I work out, I'm going to work out for 30 minutes, and I'm going to try and use as heavy a weights in the safest way possible and get that workout done, build my strength. VO2 max is another one, which is basically like a measure of like how your body processes oxygen. So cardio is important, but one of the things I also gave up when I did this is I used to love to run. But man,
you're one of those sickos.
I used to, but man, the stress it puts on your body, all the hip pain. I mean, I thought I was going to have to get a hip replacement at one point in time. The knees, the joints. I gave up running. I mean, walking. You look at the people that live the longest and live the happiest in these blue zones. I mean, they all walk everywhere. Walking is great exercise. I mean, being out in the sun, getting a little sun while you're doing it's just again, a little bit considered kind of a hack, right? Especially early morning sun is great to get.
What's something the average person is spending money on and thinking, hey, this is really improving my health, that actually isn't doing much of anything?
That's a tough question for me, because I will say this, like, as I've tried 1,000 things over the last 10 years, and 920 of them have worked, and 80 have worked and 920 haven't worked. In doing that research, a lot of things work for a lot of people and they don't work for other people. I mean, I guess
that's where the biohacking comes in. When you learn the specifics of your body, know what works and what doesn't work.
And but I really want to encourage people to just try, right? Because your body better than anyone else, right? We all know that. Like, everybody has that intuitive feel, and they know what works and what doesn't, but they also don't know, but they still have a good feel for things. So like, if you think, taking vitamin C and zinc and elderberry, when you start getting a little sniffle, it gets rid of your cold, try it. And I actually I mean, there is data behind that. That's actually a great one, right? Like, I mean, I've got the emergency packets. I got all kinds of things. I got bee pollen and honey. And if I start feeling any kind of sickness, right? Like I've got a whole little, we're
going to have to get a list of your survival kit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, but either way, like, I mean, if you think that, if lion's mane mushrooms and chaga and, whatever gives your brain a pop, and you like to do that before a meeting, great. I've tried it. Mushrooms don't, lion's mane, that kind of stuff doesn't do as much for me as it does for other people, right? But things like ketones, I love doing a ketone drink before, like, a big presentation or a meeting. I mean, I just get amazing brain boost. Does that work for everybody? I don't know. Go try it, right?
Ketone.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Ketone IQ is a great one. But ketones come from, you've obviously heard of the keto diet, right? So what happens is when your brain really doesn't like carbs. It really doesn't like, sugar. Even though we like sugar, it's not really good for your brain. So, going on like keto is just basically eating fewer carbs, more proteins and fats. But what it does is it actually creates these things called ketones in your brain, and it becomes fuel. Ketones become fuel instead of carbs, even for working out or whatever. But there's a lot of things we can get into. But all I'm saying is, like, try these things. Like, I really encourage people to try different things and see if it works for you. Yeah, and honestly, functional medicine doctors are great at this. Like, if you work with one, they'll usually give you a good list. They can see from data what should help. And then, of course, there's always ancillary things that, like I said, that are fun. Try PMF mat, see if that cures your back pain, or see if that makes you sleep better at night, or, try mouth taping. If, you wake up with, dry mouth every morning, you're like, I think I'm snoring or whatever. Maybe try mouth taping. Just do it. Make sure you do it safely. But I mean,
very interesting.
I love mouth taping. I think it's a great thing.
Sometimes I feel like my wife wants to strap duct tape across.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well, let's get on to some of the fun stuff, man. Tell us about the different services you guys do at Nick's Health. You mentioned cryotherapy, hyperbaric oxygen, IV drips, peptides, hormone optimization. What's a little bit about kind of each one, but what is the treatment that most are skeptical about until they try and then realize, wow, I really like this?
Good question.
Mine's like, I haven't really done all this. That's one reason I want to have you on to learn this, but I started giving blood probably 2 years ago. I love it. Like, when I give blood, I feel like a whole new man. Something like, feels like my core temperature drops almost.
I agree.
Inside, I feel less pressure. I say it's like changing your oil.
Yeah.
Getting rid of the bad, bringing in good.
I totally agree with you. Honestly, I've done that quite a bit over the years. And a lot of times, because my iron level will be high. And if you give blood, it's actually a good little hack to lowering your iron rather than trying to do something else. You just give blood, and it'll actually kind of bring those levels down. But I agree with you. I think that feels good. I mean, I would highly recommend giving blood. We actually have 2 procedures similar to that. One is that plasma exchange, where we take so your blood is the red blood cells, white blood cells in the plasma. We pull all the plasma out, all of it, or almost all of it. Right?
Say, don't you need a little bit?
We replace it. We're replacing it with like a clean, like sterile albumin or whatever. You'll see all these like clear bottles, and you'll see what comes out is this big yellow.
I've seen the pictures on the website, the big bags of stuff.
It's an awesome procedure, and you'll feel amazing afterwards. But in that plasma is just a bunch of, just like nasty stuff, cytokines, plastics, like molds and all, just there's a whole bunch of stuff. But not only that, what happens when your body gets all that out? It just it creates this new environment. And I've heard I think I heard Brian Johnson, he's one of those crazy biohacker guys, is saying that he did it and it dropped his biological age by 2 years just doing it, because again, the body kind of resets itself. It's definitely an oil change. So it's like giving blood times 20 or whatever, hundreds or whatever. But that's a cool one. I mean, I can dig into any one of those things you want to. They're all fun. They're all fun. I mean, I love stem cells. I think it's one of the greatest regenerative therapies in the world. A lot of people kind of have this thing where, oh, stem cells is only for like an injury. No, I actually think stem cells are even better for longevity. We have people just do it, who just, do a stem cell like infusion IV and basically just those stem cells will go where they need to go. You let them go. I mean, you don't know if you've got, liver issues, kidney issues, you might have sores. It might help you with hearing or eyesight, right? No promises on anything, but just get those stem cells. We don't produce them like we did when we were younger. And they're like the building block for our whole body. So anyway, I love stem cells. Of course, peptides are another little, I call that a little bit of a hack too.
Peptides are all the rage these days.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my next question. It feels like there's thousands of different ones for different things. What role do you see peptides having in helping certain things? And are some just used as, marketing bullshit, or do all of them serve a purpose?
I think they're, because I've tried so many. I bet I've tried at least 20 different ones.
So I've got buddies telling me like, Nick, you've got to try these. I don't even know where to start.
Okay, so I can help you with that. But I don't think I definitely believe it's not marketing fluff. And I'm not saying that because we sell them. I'm saying it because I've really dug in, and all the things I said, like 1,000 things I've done, I've really gotten some good results. Now, there are peptides that you may not feel at all, right? Like there's one that's called epitalin. It lengthens the telomeres, right? And that sounds all complex, but your telomere length is highly correlated with how long you live. It's like the tip of the cells, and basically helps with, it basically, they've got correlated data, the longer the telomere length. So I've done several rounds of epitalin. You can't feel anything, but the data behind it suggests that I just increased my telomere length by 13 to 15% every time I did it. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Did I feel anything? No. Now there's other peptides like the healing ones, like the BPC 157.
I think those are the ones I've heard a lot about. Yeah.
TB 500. There's even some other little specific ones too that kind of go in that world that can be amazing for people. I've used them so many times on little injuries, and those injuries just disappear, and I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm healing like a 20-year-old. But you just have to be willing to do some injections and try them. I mean,
So for someone like, let's say, I know nothing about peptides. What is a peptide?
I'll make it real. It's a short chain amino acid, but let me just say this: it's just like a protein.
Okay.
It's like the proteins that we eat. Your body takes different amino acids, puts them together, and you naturally create all these. All these things are naturally created in your body. They're not drugs. It's it's a very, and it's actually it's a short chain, so it's a very simple compound. Yeah, like I said, in the last 20 years, we've discovered some crazy cool things, and this is one of them. So when you figure out how to put these little amino acids together, it's like almost like a little food, and it causes your body. These peptides just are like signalers to your body. They just tell your body to do something. So BPC says, "Hey, heal. I want to heal." And as you get older, you just don't send as many of those signals, and there's a lot of reasons why you don't heal as fast, right? Like I said, we decrease in our stem cells decrease, our NAD levels decrease, like all these things decrease, but even that signaling decreases. And so by giving your body those signals, it kind of helps it heal a lot faster. And, there's really good data behind those. I think those are amazing. So, simple compounds. I love that category. There's another one. You're like, where do I start? There's another group of peptides that cause your body to release growth hormone. And that's going to sound like, ooh, Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, HGH.
My son's going into a senior football season, so we need to.
Well, I wish I'd started these 20 years ago.
Well, that was a question I was going to ask. At what age do you kind of start this?
I mean, you could start whenever. I mean, I would probably, I don't think we treat anybody under the age of either 18 or 21. I actually don't know, but I know we have because I would just be careful with it.
Yeah.
You know, and certainly you don't ever want to overdo peptides. And let me be clear on that. Like, we do set out protocols on these. You don't just do these all the time. You can do different ones all the time, but there are definite protocols for how to do it. Some you do like 3 days a week for 6 weeks, and then you take a break, right? You don't really want to overdo it with them, but like work with somebody, or, you know, work with a practitioner. Just get the correct instructions for how to do them. But let's talk about those growth hormones. So these are pretty amazing for, and I call these a hack too. If I told you could like increase your strength by 10% and your recovery, you'd get sore like 50% less after any strenuous exercise that you would normally get sore on. And
oh God, I went
you're going to
fishing
sleep
for
better.
2 days the other day, and I couldn't get out of bed the next.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, we got to talk about fishing before I leave too, but I love the fish. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like they're basically like, I mean, I wish I had taken these things a long time ago. So these growth hormone promoters, they just tell your body, again, they're just signals. They just say, hey, body, release growth hormone. And growth hormone is amazing for all of these things. Again, even down to sleep. People tell me all the time they sleep better when they're taking them. And I'll just throw the names out there. It's like Tessamorelin, CJC, Ipamorelin. Those are probably the 3 most common ones. And even out of those, here's another one. Here's another really good one. This Tessamorelin. There's data that says you do one cycle of that and you reduce visceral fat by 18%. There's a study. And we see it all the time. We have an InBody. It's another thing we do. We can measure skeletal muscle mass and visceral fat and all that kind of stuff. We see it all the time. Like a round of Tessamorelin can reduce visceral fat. Now, visceral fat is just bad fat on the inside organs, right? But also, especially for guys and girls, it shows itself right around the midline. So, you know, I was
someone like me, you know, married for 20 years.
Absolutely.
I want to keep this in decent shape, but I'm at that age where I'm now, I'm more focused on what's going on inside. I just want to live longer.
Yeah, I hear you. But I will tell you, Tessamorelin, like I had just a little bit of love handles before I did it. I can't believe how I just sit here and go like this all the time and they're gone. I'm rubbing my side. I'm like, I still am like amazed that, like, you know, having those things for 45 years and they're just kind of like gone now. And I'm like, you know, listen, this again, everybody should just try different things, but there is really good data behind that. You know, Tessamorelin will reduce visceral fat no matter what, and I'll prove it to you on a like an InBody scan. But I love that one, and it's also a growth hormone promoter, so it does some of the other same things too, right? It's good for like gain a little strength and, you know, recovery and sleep and all the other things. So that's a fun one. And if you really want to get into like, you know, there's one that are really good for cognition. There's like 4 that are like specific for helping the brain. Now,
that's what I need. I feel
you should
like
try them.
Well, I feel like I'm at that. I say I'm at that age, but it's like anytime I learn something new, something's got to go. Like there's only so much room in there now. Yeah. And, you know, I got a little bit of ADHD and kind of, you know, I'm wired hot. So I'll get to the end of the day and I just have this brain fog of I've done so much today, but I can't really recall everything I did, you know, specifically. I just don't feel as sharp as I used to be.
Brain fog is just like so common. I mean, we all fight it, right? I mean, I can not sleep as well and I'll have a little brain fog the next day, right? So there's so many things you can do for that, but I will say like these peptides can be really good for that. And they all have slightly different mechanisms and they can be easy. You can get some of those in even nasal. So you don't even have to like do injections for those. But that's a whole good category. Again, try some things, right? I mean, you know.
So you could literally like come in, take some tests, do all that, and then say, hey, this is what I'm wanting to improve. And you guys more or less have, a menu of, hey, what do you want to improve? Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this.
That's it.
Wow.
You know, a lot of it does come down to like how much do you want to spend and when. I mean, I think we all have our budgets, and even me, right? Over the years, I might order $500 in supplements one month, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" Right? So the next month I only order $200, but then the next month I might order $700. Right? It's just like it's all it's on how much you want to spend and when. But there's, you know, you're putting into your health, and I don't know. I kind of look at it like I think we're all seeing how important health is these days, just because things have changed a lot in the last 20 years. I mean, we didn't see 20 years ago, 30 years ago, all these allergies. Everybody's allergic to something, whether it's peanuts or soy or eggs or, I mean, I don't know, gluten. I mean,
the way we're eating's obviously different. Like, I remember going and visiting my grandparents on their farm in North Alabama, and it's like, okay, we ate twice a day, maybe a little lunch, but you're getting up, you're working on the farm, you're picking vegetables, and then you're eating, what you picked and what you raised. And it was just a cleaner way of doing things. So you got to think, that's been a major difference in how we feel today.
Huge difference. And all the toxins we're exposed to. And I think it's easy for people to overlook all the EMF exposure we get, all of the foods wrapped in plastics and the plastic cutting boards. And I mean, and how, because you're thinking, that doesn't bother me. I ate that and I don't feel any different. But it's the accumulation, those heavy metals that are all around us. And, you're on the golf course and you pick up your ball and you lick your fingers and, well, you just, who knows how much fertilizer golf courses are the worst for toxins. I mean, but of course that's not going to stop me from playing, but I mean, just again, we're going to be exposed to a lot of things, and
nothing you can do about it. But now we have the technology to counteract it.
Right. You have to play a little defense, on a lot of those things. And again, I think a lot of us don't really even realize all of that, but what's happening is we're seeing so many diseases that we never saw before later on in life, all the Alzheimer's, the dementias, the MS's, the, just all of these things. And what, a lot of the longevity guys are seeing now is those are a lot of times a result of years of accumulation of maybe a bunch of things, but toxins are one of them. And so even though you don't feel it now, even though you're like, I can eat anything. You can eat anything, but you don't know what that's going to do to you. But while you might die at like 62, right? You're like, I can pick that up off the floor. I can eat anything. I got a solid gut. I can eat, you can. It doesn't mean you don't get an upset stomach, but what happens when you're 62 and you get some kind of cancer and, who knows what that came from? Like, I mean, more than likely what you eat is who you are, right? I mean, like everything in your body is made up of pretty much what you eat and what you breathe. And maybe there's maybe some sunlight and all that, right? So, I don't know. I just think it's really important for people to focus on. That's some of the stuff that I've learned over the years that I never thought, because I just think, I could eat anything. I'd eat the hottest wing. I'd eat, something dropped on the floor. I'd pick it up and eat it, whatever. Like, I thought I had an iron gut. Nothing ever bothered me. But again, I just think, it didn't bother me, but who knows what happens after the age of 60, all those things that you put in your body.
Well, let's dive into a little bit about biomarkers. Is that kind of the foundation of figuring out where to start?
I think so.
Like, explain what biomarkers are and how that kind of feeds into y'all's, say, if we start a new regimen of this is what we're trying to do, this is what we're trying to fix, do you start with those biomarker tests?
Yeah, great question. The biomarkers is really just a very generic term for just a measurement of something, right? Like your cholesterol level is a biomarker. Your hemoglobin A1C, your insulin level is a biomarker. So to really answer your question, we have like most all functional medicine companies have these, like, or functional medicine clinics, like a basic test, like a dashboard test.
So that's what you're creating a baseline.
Yeah. It's usually around 50 to 60 kind of really important things. And we all pretty much look at a very similar dashboard. Now, there's hundreds and thousands of biomarkers, and we get into that. We can test all of those too. But like if the basic dashboard is a great way to assess your health. So if you're a company and you look at your scorecard once a week or once a month, or maybe your company and you only just look at your numbers once a year, it's the same thing. How much money did I make? How much revenue did we do? What were my cost of goods? Whatever. It's just the same thing. We have a dashboard of biomarkers that really give us a good insight on like it's a good place for you to start. And for instance, here's two, we measure vitamin B and vitamin D levels, because those are two very important measurements that most people are very low on, and can fix things. It can make you feel really good if you just fix those two things, right? Just like, there's cholesterol measurements. Now, we don't just look at total cholesterol. There's other ones like, LP little a and ApoB that we also measure, which we think are really important for heart health, right? There's thyroid numbers. There's inflammation markers. That's another one. It's amazing how many of us are inflamed because of the effects of the food and the society that we live in. So we have inflammation markers we can look at, and those are things we can really work on to drive down. We can use a lot of our modalities for that, right? Like maybe it could be a little cryo or a little hyperbaric, or it could also be maybe some supplements, or it could be stop doing, these three things that you're doing that are driving those numbers up. So we have that baseline test. And like I said, all functional medicine clinics will have something very similar. And we work on that and help you with the plan. And then a lot of times from those, we can actually see, something's going on over here in your gut. Maybe we should drill down and do like a gut microbiome analysis, right? And then we can get some real fun, and we can do you can do a stool test, and we can find out what's really going on in the gut. And a lot of people have gut issues. I mean,
I guarantee I do. I know I do.
It's so common. I mean, it's ridiculously common, and it's not. I won't say it's not your fault. It's like just the food that we eat is so good. It's so bad for us, and it affects everybody differently, right? Like you and I could eat the same things, and our guts, all these little microbiome bacteria, will treat it differently. Some will treat it well, some won't. You might have a few more parasites than me that, get inflamed with certain foods, whatever. I mean, anyway, there's so we have that, right? We have food sensitivity tests. We can do a micronutrient test to see what you're deficient in, just micronutrient wise. I mean, again, we can kind of use the baseline to see, do we want to dig down? And not only do we use the baseline, we actually sit down and talk to you, right? Like your doctor only gives you 10 minutes. Like, we're going to give you an hour and say, like, what else is going on? You got eczema, you got gout, like you got, you're losing hair. Like what's going on? And we can factor all that in.
I should have gotten in touch with you 20 years ago when I started losing my hair.
I work hard on it.
I haven't paid for a haircut in 20 years.
I work hard on my hair. I have fun. It's almost like it's one of it's my fun side project. I do a lot to try and keep my hair, from falling out. But I just enjoy doing it. I try a bunch of different products just for fun. Anyway, that's fun. That's again, I don't know if I call that a biohack, but I would just, because it's not a shortcut.
You're trying to come up with the next biohack.
I'm actually working. I work hard on that one, putting stuff in. But
so, like all the things you guys offer, the treatments and all that, what do you think has created the biggest wow factor for your clients? Like, is there one treatment that people are, the majority of people are like, wow, this really works?
Every single one of them is a wow. I mean, I have a patient who's actually, a friend of mine who we did a calcium score for. I don't know if you ever heard of calcium score.
I have a nurse friend that we were sitting at the pool the other day, and she actually mentioned that I needed to do that.
Yeah, it's a great measurement of like the plaque in your arteries right around your heart. So you can measure, and like this perfect example, this guy actually had fairly decent, he's an older guy, but he had fairly decent cholesterol numbers, even bad cholesterol numbers. But I know he'd been eating junk for 20 years because he, go to the gas station, get a hot dog like every day for lunch, while he was, when he used to work. And I'm like, I think we should, let's do a calcium score. Well, we found out that he had a huge amount of plaque buildup in his widowmaker artery called the LAD. And
my father just went through that.
Really?
Yep.
Well, so this is where prevention comes in.
And his sister went through it a couple months before Dad. She had a heart attack, and the crazy thing is she is the healthiest eater,
of course, ever.
Like, she used to eat, apples and vegetables and peanut butter and like nothing. And then she'd make us, burgers and, all the fun stuff. And then when she had a heart attack, we kind of kidded her about it. Like, oh yeah, you missed out on all this for 60 years and you still had a heart attack. So I know it's in my family. So that's why I'm kind of paying more attention to, what can I do on the front end to make sure I don't fall into that.
It's not that expensive to do a calcium test, and it's worth it. And you can also maybe do it depending on what your numbers are. It should be 0, but depending on what your numbers are, you can do it every so often, like every year, every 2, to see if it's actually getting worse or not. But anyway, so we found this out. We ended up, he went to go see his cardiologist, and his cardiologist said, "No, you're fine." Basically he's saying, "I'm going to wait for you to have a heart attack before we do anything." So he ended up doing like
that's a gamble.
He was freaking out. He was freaking out. His cardiologist basically told him, "Hey, just take a small aspirin every day, and here I'm going to give you this. I think it was glycerin or something. You wear it around your neck, and if you start feeling your chest tightening, take it." And he just is like, "I'm going to wear this for the rest of my life." Like, what? He's like, "I want to fix this. How do we fix this?" And so, we had him do it. There's a thing called a Clearly scan. We've got a really good center in Nashville. We don't do it, but they can actually they use AI and detailed MRI technology to see. They could see that he had like 70% blockage in 4 arteries, like over 70% blockage in 4 arteries. And the guy's like, you need to get some stents, right? Like, I would do it. You're not going to die right away, but like I would do it in the next month or 2. Like, let's just get this taken care of. Yeah. So then he goes and he talks to like 4 different cardiologists, and then they're all like, "No, you're fine. I don't see any, and I don't believe in the Clearly scan." It's, no, I think you're okay again. And he's just like floored. He's beside himself. So he finally finds one. Actually, this was all, like, luckily I can say this is all in Charlotte. So he said, "I'm going to come to Nashville," and found a cardiologist that would do it. He's actually traveling. And they did the stents. They found out he had 90% blockage in that LED, that widowmaker. 90%. They put 2 stents in that one, and put 2 other ones in there. And the cool thing about that is it's a simple procedure. And now he's got once you fix those, you're pretty much clear. But it's just kind of amazing. That's preventative. And he's like as happy as all,
I'll never forget when Dad went and had his procedure. He went in that morning, and I swear we sat in the waiting room for an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And they call us in like, "All right, he's good. You can come see." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
It's like basically they just run like fishing line through you and fix it, and we're good to go.
I'll tell you. Listen.
That would have killed somebody 20 years ago.
That's what
that's open heart surgery 20 years ago.
Exactly. Then that's what they're good at. Don't get me wrong. Like, if I have a heart problem, I'm going to the hospital, the doctor. I want the best one. Blah blah blah. But preventative wise,
but what can you do on the front end?
That's where we come. That's where these functional medicine, wellness clinics, whatever. We're trying to help people be preventative so that doesn't happen. And so anyway, just example. So like you're asking me, like, what one thing that we do, they all have their own stories. I can tell you about people who had like jaw pain from a car wreck 20 years ago, and they do cryotherapy, and they come out and they're saying, "This is the first time last night was the first time I was able to sleep because I didn't have that pain." Now, but it doesn't necessarily go away forever, right? So now they're on like a regular, they've got to do their cryo it's like icing the body, right? It's just de-inflaming things. There's so many stories about hyperbaric. There's millions of stories about stem cells. And then there's a lot things that like we do ozone and therapies and that are doing things for you, and you might feel them, but like you might not have like some great story. But guess what? You're not going to have a story 20 years from now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And IVs are the same way. I wish,
IVs are kind of the quick fix, like you feel it immediately, correct?
Exactly. And it's like I tell people, I know it's because I didn't even do them for like when I started my biohacking thing, I didn't do them for a long time. I was like, I can get enough hydration, and I'm taking all my supplements. I don't need it. But once I started doing them, I realized, plus you can add like some cool things like glutathione and NAD and, Niagen and stuff like that. But either way, I'm just saying, like, I was like, wow, now I actually get it. Like it. So people might not think it is a really, really good feeling, good for you process. You just have to be willing to sit down for an hour, and out of your month, or 2 hours out of your month, go do it a couple times. But yeah, it's just great. I think that's just.
So let's say you have $5,000 to spend this year on your health, where would you start? Where would you allocate that? Someone's going, hey, I put some money away to try this year. Where would you start?
I definitely would do that dashboard test, right?
Okay.
I would definitely do like a biomarker test. I would also think about, depending on who you are, what do you care the most about, right? So
I'm not talking very much. I'm taking notes.
That's fine.
I'm studying today.
But I think this part's really important. Like, what do you care about? I care about brain health. I'm not worried about dying of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, whatever. I'm worried about brain health. So my $5,000, I'm gonna allocate some money to figuring out like how I can strengthen my brain, whether it's peptides or maybe it's like a series of hyperbaric oxygen treatments, or it's IVs with certain things that I know sharpen me. But if you're worried about cancer, we have an amazing cancer test. We have a blood test that tests for over 50 different cancers and gives you an indication of what stage you're in. It's like, if you're worried about cancer, you should take that test every whatever you want. Once a year, every 5 years. Like, it's an incredible test. Now, that's, it's whatever, somewhere around $1,000, but it's an incredible test, right? Or you could do a full body MRI. We do those too, right? I mean, that's a little bit more expensive, but full body MRI will give you a good picture, tell you if you, down to pretty detail, if you probably got cancer somewhere in your body. You could do that every however often you. So just how scared
right.
Right? How scared are you? How prevalent is it in your family?
But the most important thing about cancer is to catch it on the early stages. So if you invested in this, every couple years, you're more than likely going to catch it on the front end.
Oh, the data this company puts out is like, if you catch stage 1 cancer, which they do all the time, you probably beat it 97% of the time. You catch stage 2 cancer, you beat it like 93% of the time or something. Stage 3, then it's like 70%. But like 4 and 5, that's when a lot of people catch it, because that's when you feel it, or maybe that tumor, whatever happened. Yeah, not good. Stage 4, stage 5. I'm not saying you can't beat it, but the numbers fall different. Off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So if cancer's your thing and that's your family, or that's just for whatever reason intuitively that's what you care about. If you're worried about your heart, like you said, you got it, family history, or maybe I haven't eaten as good over the years, I might spend my $5,000. Certainly, I would always do like a baseline test. I think we give you like lots of data for just like whole health, and we can even drill down into if you. So
you take that test, and then y'all can you can say, hey, this is where you need to focus.
And you care about heart, maybe we do a little calcium score. Maybe we put you on. We got some peptides that can really help with that kind of stuff. We actually have pretty amazing IV with this thing called Plaque X that can actually really help reduce plaque in the system and really clean out your arteries. I mean, it's another one you could, again, we can stack it as much as you want. If you're worried about diabetes, again, we can look at numbers. That's a real one for a lot of people just over the years,
that's fascinating to me. It's like you're just going to your mechanic going, hey, go through the car and tell me what needs to be done.
I know. Well, we can do it these days. I'm telling you, over the last 20 years, we've had a lot of really smart people that had 2 parents die of diabetes, 3 relatives die of like heart disease, and they go and get a PhD and go and start a research lab and figure. I mean, there's so many things that we know. It doesn't all roll back into the medical world, and it's not because it's because they're under an insurance pharmaceutical model. That's how they get paid. I mean, if I got paid $1 million a year by through Medicare and insurance, I would do what they told me to do too. But all I'm saying is there's another world of all of these things now that we've learned. We just the last 20 years, man. I'll give you a good little stat here, and I don't have the exact. Don't quote me on any of this, but like I think I heard somewhere that if you took all of the medical data from like the beginning of time until like the year 2000, and you put it in a filing, or you just like figured out how much data that was, right now, like every year or 1.7 years, all that data is doubling.
Wow.
Like that's how much we're just creating that much. Like I said, there's so many people out there just creating new studies, new research. We're just learning new things. I mean, we're mapping the human genome. You know,
I'm not gonna lie. I'm a fairly skeptical person. Does that not scare you a little bit? Are these tests coming out? Do you trust these tests? Are they coming from reputable sources, or is it kind of just a bunch of mad scientists trying to figure out, the new thing?
Don't be that skeptical. The data you're getting is legit data. What you do with it.
All right, I trust you if you say that.
Yeah. No. The data. I mean, at least I'll say from like a clinic or somebody. I don't know if you go online and buy something online. I don't know, but I'm saying like if you're talking to a legit functional medicine team or something, or I mean the data's good. I certainly will say that like there's lots of hokey pokey fixes that it's fair to be skeptical of. I mean, I see them online all the time. Lemon water, or and cayenne pepper. Now I'm not saying that doesn't work. That can actually work for some people, but like some people might call that hokey pokey, right? That person lost 10 pounds. I don't believe that, whatever. But all I'm saying is like, there's lots of things you just got to try. I really believe, because different people, different things will work for. But so that could be the hokey pokey. But the data is the data. I wouldn't be skeptical of like legit. Like, what is your cholesterol level?
Sure.
That's a whether it's important number or not. I mean, that's a legit fact. And then we can say, okay, I've taken that fact, and over the last 20 years, these guys have figured out that if my ApoB cholesterol is here or rises in 2 months, then you have a 70% chance. Like, that's just like data. That's just like a legit like fact.
That's just
to me.
math.
That's just
mathing.
That's just like people that have gotten I mean, I'm telling you, I feel like there's just so many. I see them all the time at these conferences, man. Smart people that are just doing amazing. They're trying. And yes, sometimes they go down these hokey pokey routes and they don't figure anything out. Sometimes they do figure stuff out, but then they publish and you look at it and you're like, okay, that's pretty legit. BPC 157, I have all these case studies of people with knee injuries and here's how they healed. And, I don't know. It's, does it work for everybody? I mean, maybe not, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there. I definitely wouldn't bash the data.
It's good to know. Good to know. So why do you think Nashville itself, like you've obviously invested in Nashville, why do you think Nashville's become a hot spot for health and wellness? Like, could it be the influx from the West Coast, or is it just?
That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, like for instance, Next Health was started in LA with 3 clinics, and they just were crushing it, right? I mean, they did really, really well. And I mean, when I grew up in like the Raleigh area, and then it's like I said, spent a lot of time in Charlotte, and we used to joke, a lot of people from New York we felt like we were like the hotbed for people from New York trying to get out of, New York and paying taxes and cheaper real estate and all that kind of stuff. Nashville, no doubt about it. I mean, there's so many people from California.
So maybe it's just influx of new ideas, new ways of thinking. And
I think so, which is kind of good for Nashville. Gives you a lot of options. I mean, there's definitely a lot of options out there to try a lot of this stuff. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, that, and there's just a lot of money here. And so when you have money, you have people willing to either open new businesses or try new things or spend their money on wellness. So yeah.
Then, no state income tax, like it's a perfect harbor to try some things.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
All right. So let's pretend you become the U.S. Secretary of Health tomorrow. You can only mandate 3 habits that every American needs to follow. What are they?
Oh, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. If you want me to tell you what you need to follow, or okay, I won't do laws that I would create, but because I don't even know if I could come up with those easily. But I really kind of on this kick right now where like, you're going to hate this, but I don't think anybody should eat corn, bread.
Ooh, my wife's going to hate you.
Seed oils.
Corn, really?
Yeah, just the way they make corn is just it's just too much fertilizer,
Okay.
too much glyphosate. It has no nutritional. Oh, potatoes was the other one. So I would say like
Oh.
if I was going to tell you, 4 things to not eat, it would be bread, potatoes, corn, white potatoes, corn, and seed oils, which is like in every meal in America. But the way we just make all that stuff, we mass produce it. I mean, if you're a farmer, we all know if I spray fertilizer on my plant, it's going to grow
Right,
through the roof.
right.
I've got to feed all these people. But if I told you that I sprayed fertilizer on this, I'm going to make you some vegetables and I spray fertilizer on it, but I'm going to wash it before I give it to you, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
You just sprayed Roundup on that and then you're going to wash it and you're going to cook it and give it to me? What? I'm not going to eat that. Well, I mean, that's what they have to do.
Right.
And so those are the worst. I don't even know if there's a such thing as organic corn, organic potatoes, organic and wheat for bread. And they're all basically like wasted calories. There's no nutritional benefit in any of those. And that's kind of the kick I'm on right now. It's like, and I joke, it's like, I call it BPC, it's like bread, potatoes, corn, similar to our BPC peptide. And then the seed oils, BPCs, seed oil, because there's just no benefit in seed oil. I love olive oil. I love avocado oil. Maybe a few other oils that are really good. I mean, I've been
using avocado oil a lot. I got a Blackstone
good
the other day, and that's
why not?
all the research I've been saying is avocado oil is the way to go.
Yeah, it's got a high smoke point, so you can actually cook something at high heat where olive oil doesn't. But I mean, I actually drizzle olive oil on every meal I make has olive oil in it somehow, some way, because it's really good for you. And I'm not scared of fats, and I think that's another misconception that a lot of us have had. I mean, probably more in the female world, about how fat's bad for you. Fat is not bad for you. Sugar is bad for you. Like sugar is what causes heart disease. Fat does not cause heart disease, right? So anyway, but I would still say eat good fats, right? I mean, any kind of vegetable oil is just the devil, in my opinion. So
okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Well,
People are not
man,
going to like not eating bread and potatoes and no more French fries, guys. I mean, that's like the worst thing you can eat. I mean,
All right, just a couple more here. Imagine you're talking to your 25-year-old self. What's the biggest health advice you would give him with the knowledge you have now?
Yeah.
After going through, learning what you've learned. Obviously, you said the past, it gets exponentially more data every couple years. But if you could go back, 25-year-old you, what changes would you make?
It's all about eating. I mean, I even joke with my practitioner sometimes. I'm like, all the things that we're fixing and working on people with, like, at the end of the day, we could all be just nutritionists. If everybody would just eat
Real food, just real food, the right amounts, and we cut out so many things, like it would fix everything. So if I was to go back to 25, I would completely, and I used to think I ate healthy. I thought, I'm eating salad. I love eating salads 2 or 3 times a week for dinner, and I'll throw some grilled chicken in it. But no croutons, right? I mean, like I would be careful of the dressings that I put on there. Now I always make olive oil and vinegar dressings. I mean, I hand make them and put some herbs or whatever in it, salt and pepper. And, anyway, like it would be all about what I ate, because you just are what you eat. You become what you eat. It's more that. And then, cause I always exercise a little, enough. It wouldn't even be that for me. It would just been, I would have just completely changed the way I eat. I would have eat way fewer carbs, because just like I said, I mean, bread, potatoes, and corn, they're in everything, and they're really just wasted calories. Like, I would just eat something more nutritious. And I know that's easier said than done, but eating's not a problem. Like, I don't know. I can eat real healthy, and doesn't bother me. I know that is a problem for some people, which, again, we've got some hacks. But you've also seen the data on the other side.
Right.
So this creates this, and if you do this, these are the results you're going to see.
You're right.
You've got the data to prove it.
That's right.
So, well, brother, man, the last question I always ask every guest that comes on here: what do you love most about living in Middle Tennessee?
Oh, wow. There's a lot. I mean, I can't believe how much fun this place is. I think this is the greatest city in the U.S., and it's not because I live here. I'm lucky to be here. There is so much, there's so much to do here. Like, we've got the best of everything. Like, you want to play golf, great golf courses. You want to putt, we've got the best putt. You want to listen to music, obviously we have the best music. You want to have food, amazing food, right? I mean, there's so many restaurants to eat around here. I mean,
can you actually go in and enjoy a meal at a restaurant without going, what's this cooked in?
I'm telling you, a lot of menus are limited. The good news is, like, I can always get a steak, or, I can always do like steak and broccoli at most places, or salmon and, a side of like vegetables. But yeah, now there's a lot of places I can't eat. But anyway, this place is just like incredible in what it offers and how much there is to do around here. And the community, I'll say this too, the people around here, and maybe it's because you have so many new people, or at least, I spend a lot of time downtown or whatever, but like, everybody is friendly.
Yeah. I
mean, we've got a good culture here in Nashville. So, yeah, I mean, I love just the whole thing, the people, the entertainment, and, yeah, great place.
It's a special place, brother. We're glad to have you, buddy.
All right. Well, thanks.
So thanks for joining us, and we're going to have all your info in the show notes. And guys, check out Next Health. That is definitely something that is on my radar. I'm going to check out here in the next couple of weeks for sure.
Can't wait to have you.
But again, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks.